So y'all know Abel Mutua, you know, before he became Kurugenzi, we knew him from Tahiti High. What was his name on Tahiti High? Can we remember? But we know he was
Let
good.
us know. The number is 077-729-366.
Exactly. Let us know in the number down below. And let me tell you, oh yeah, he was Freddy. You know, the people in my ear are so helpful. Freddy and Omosh used to do the most, you know, and no, OJ, yeah, Omosh was the janitor.
Caretaker, janitor,
exactly.
that guy.
But him and OJ were just the best duo ever. And after Tahiti High, he went on to do many other creative projects. If you don't know him, Abel Mutua is probably behind most of this series you watch on TV, the creative director. He is, woo! This man is goals. Like his train of thought and everything, he is funny. Comedy just comes to him naturally. And he has entertained Kenyans since I could remember. But now this time, he is telling us about his fatherhood journey. And boy, were we not surprised when he told us that he had his daughter at the age of 23.
Huh?
23.
Boy, okay.
Let me not say anything because I had my kid at 21.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'm judging y'all. I'm judging y'all.
She is judging us. But he is saying that his experience was actually a bit different from most of our experiences. And he says, so as a father at 23 is scary. What I tell people is it is a double-edged sword to get a child at 23. Manze na umejipanga, yani uko sawa, uko na resources za kulea mtoto psychologically, you're prepared. It is the best thing ever because this child grows up with you. By the time you are 40, manze, she is almost completing high school. Unajua hu mtoto ni mzima and can sit down with others and talk ideas. The problem is though, kama hauko sawa psychologically prepared, resources inakuchenga, then it becomes very tricky to start raising a child. And let me tell you, this resonated very powerfully with me because the thing he kept repeating wasn't even financial challenges.
Mendo.
You have to be prepared psychologically because let me tell you, you are bringing a child into the world and the biggest fear as a parent is to give this child trauma, like to mess up a kid. That was my biggest fear. I was like, I don't want to do something that will, you know, this child will end up in therapy. What if this child ends up a thief and it's because of me? Or this child becomes a murderer. You have seen this documentary.
Yep.
Ati, oh, my mom didn't love me. My mom was mean to me.
Or they went to, the parents left them and they ended up living in an orphanage. And then bad things were done to them at the orphanage. Good drama.
Like, if you even watch like serial killer documentaries, it all stems from parenting. And your biggest fear is always, am I going to mess this up? And even sometimes, you know, the African in you will shout once in a while. But because we don't know about gentle parenting, ilikuja na wazungu kama kizungu, okay? Ilikuja na meli. We do not know gentle parenting. Africans have a very aggressive way with childbearing. And sometimes, like, I'd look back and think, I'm not going to like do this to my son also. Because I'd catch myself, where were Liam? And I'm like, maybe if we talk kidogo, like come sit down, tell me what is happening. Because sometimes it's also easier to be very aggressive. It's easier to just shout, call them a name, and the behavior stops there. But this child is so resentful of you. And that was just a fear of mine. Let me tell you, I was 21. I was still a child raising a child. So when I saw this story, I was like, I wish I was like you. Because I used to cry a lot. A lot. Having a child at a young age, it's not easy. And for people who are successful, yes. And I know people actually envy, like this, a relationship where the mother is not as old as the child, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have a young mom and, because I had like very old parents. My mom had me at 30 or something. And I really used to like love the dynamic I'd see with, you know, kids, my age mates with younger parents. They seemed to have a very fun thing. And that's because you grow up with your child.
Yep.
But when you have very old parents, they're just very authoritative because in their mind they're like, you don't know anything.
Yep.
I am the adult here. You have to listen to me. My word is final. But when your parent is young, you all get to grow up together, okay? Sometimes they get to discover new things. They get to figure out, and you get to figure it out with them. I think it's beautiful. And I love that for me because I know I'm going to be the hot mom, okay? We're going to grow up together. When he's a teenager, they're going to mistake us for siblings. You know, like... I am loving that for me. But at the same time, it's very, very challenging, you know, because sometimes you feel like you're missing out on a lot.
Yeah.
You feel like your friends are partying, they're always at this event, and you're at home trying to make milk or trying to feed somebody formula, you know.
Make milk.
Exactly. Make milk. You become a milk
A
maker.
factory, yeah,
Yeah?
pretty much.
Sometimes, you know, you're up at 3 a.m. with your child, you're both crying, and then you get on social media, your friends are, whoa, party, party. And I'm like, wow. So it's bittersweet, but also it's very beautiful. And if Abel Mutua has done it, if I have done it, whomst are you? But at the same time, please, if you cannot do this journey, can you stop, okay? Can you stop? Be careful about what you're doing.
I feel like this is one of those things that we keep reiterating on this show. You cannot have children unless you're physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially in a position that you can have children, because all of these factors come into play on how you bring up your child. And I love the fact that his wife actually has these interesting, intricate conversations with the child as well. Like the other day they were speaking, I think about their menses or something like that. I think I saw on YouTube, and they keep having these very open conversations between the father and the daughter, the mother and the daughter, and it's like they're learning on the go. They were talking about phones as well, like I think they were negotiating on whether or not to get her a phone. And I watched that video, and it was so beautiful because like she's very clearly, very eloquently pointing out the reasons why she wants a phone and why it's important for her to get this phone. Like it was an interesting thing to watch, and that dynamic is such a find. You find that a lot of parents, even at that age, who have younger children, or young parents who got children really young, are still struggling to figure out how this dynamic works. Because you're like, do I really want to bond with my child in such a way that now they are literally like my sister, and they don't understand the parenting role on my part? They don't feel like they have a parent, and now they have to go and look for another authority figure. It's very complicated. It's very confusing. The dynamics can be very strange, but I love how they're dealing with it, and I love that whole story for them. I'm happy for them. And you know, as the child goes into high school and starts to bring boys in the house, I am happy for you too, because that's a whole other journey. I don't even know. I can't. My niece is killing me already, and she's not even old enough.